Hey guys, real quickly before I begin the show, I'm going to give you an update on the submission process. Currently, I'm still backed up until January. Here's a screenshot of the current submissions I'm working on. I'm still working on submissions from January. So if you guys submitted the past few months or past few weeks and you're wondering why you haven't been shown, well, it's either one, the quality of the pictures aren't good, or two, you are in a very, very long queue. So please be patient, guys. I am still focusing on going through every single submission in order. Those submissions aren't including the ones that I've weeded out. I still have to go through those and remove the ones that have bad quality or bad setup and all that stuff. But anyways, just want to give you guys an update. There's a 6 or 7 month wait time to be on Setup Wars. So that is why your setup, or one of the reasons why your setup hasn't been featured on Setup Wars. But anyways, with that said, welcome to Setup Wars episode 149. If you guys want to submit and wait, then watch the video linked down below. But with that said, let the Setup Wars begin. Hey guys, real quickly, I want to thank the sponsor of this video, Trade Coffee. It's actually a funny story. They started off as a sponsor for this video, and then now it's my favorite place to get coffee. Personally, I love coffee. I need it to be productive, and it helps me focus on content creation. Believe it or not, I have 10 to 12-hour days, 7 days a week, making YouTube videos. So coffee is what keeps me going. Here's why Trade is awesome. Their mission is to turn coffee drinkers like myself into coffee lovers. So they have this quick 6-question quiz that matches you with the coffee you're most likely to love. So when I took the quiz, they actually matched me with the FTO House Espresso. And one thing I love about this coffee compared to the one I'm using right now is it has so much flavor that I don't need to add any creamer. Trade has a diverse offering of the very best seasonal coffees with exceptional taste, ethically sourced from respected farmers and producers, and prices start around $15 a bag. I love the convenience of the entire process. Having Trade match me with the perfect coffee for my taste and having it sent directly to my home is awesome. It's also roasted just after your order is placed, which is why it's always so fresh. Currently, they ship to the US only, and right now you can buy a really great bag of coffee yourself, suited for your own taste. Right now, Trade is offering the first 100 subscribers who click on the link below and use the promo code TechSource 50% off whatever coffee is recommended for them. But you gotta be quick because it's not gonna last long. Kicking off the episode, we have this super clean setup from Kai. He uses it mainly for gaming and occasionally for making YouTube videos and other miscellaneous work. We have an ultrawide from Samsung mounted against the wall, and instead of running the wires straight down, check this out, he ran them across the wall and behind his PC, which looks way cleaner. He also has a 23-inch from Dell, and it's sitting on top of a box for some reason. In the notes, he did state that the reason he didn't mount it on the wall is because his wife frequently moves it to her desk for when she needs to work from home. He also said that he spaced the monitor a little bit from the ultrawide so that it's more symmetrical with the PC on the other side. And I gotta be honest, it doesn't look bad. There's a nice balance here, and the box underneath the monitor keeps it almost level with the ultrawide. The desk itself was built using the IKEA EKBACKEN black stone countertop, which is being held up using some CAPITA legs. This basically gives the tabletop some spacing between the Alex drawers, which is great if you ever need to store things in between it. Also, it raises the desk a bit. I actually see this method a lot for people who are tall. There's not much on the desk itself. He has a minimalistic approach. We got some IKEA plants, maybe an Xbox One controller, and his keyboard and mouse. He's added white keycaps, and it appears that the mouse itself is modded either with paint or vinyl wraps, I'm not really sure. It looks really good though, and the black mouse pad with the white accents really ties the peripherals together beautifully. The only source of audio he's got are the Sennheiser HD6XX headphones, which are neatly hanging underneath his desk, and I do have to point out the placement of the Snowball Ice microphone. It's a very subtle placement. It doesn't stick out, nor does it take up any extra space on the desk. It looks like he hooked it up to a boom arm and he left it in the corner behind the monitor so it's not visible. Nicely done. I actually thought it was hooked up on the monitor mount itself. The cable management on this setup is exceptional. All the PC wires are tied together and routed beautifully underneath the desk and into the J-channel raceway and out through the other side of the desk. I couldn't be more proud. And finally, the PC powering it all, which is a beauty herself. We got the 7700K, 16 gigs of the RGB Trident Z RAM sticks, and the mighty EVGA 1080 Ti. It looks like he's modded the side of the case after his YouTube channel using vinyl stickers, and we also got some custom sleeved cables. I also love how the entire fan itself is lit. I think these are from Ego, and these are the white LED fans, but they do have RGB versions as well. One of the things I like about this setup is that it's dynamic. A lot of setups tend to have a specific color scheme that can't change, so they're kind of stuck with that. But this setup has a neutral color, and all he has to do is change up a few colors and a wallpaper to give it a new and refreshing look. Excellent work on this setup. It's definitely one of the cleanest I've seen. Thank you, Kai, for introing. Speaking of a clean setup, Luke is up next with a setup focused on gaming and engineering design. First thing I noticed is the interesting layout of the monitors. So instead of sandwiching all three displays side by side like most people, he mounted the smaller one on top to make space on the desk for his PC. Also, who says you need a wall to mount your monitors? You can actually use windows too. Well, the wooden portion at least. But at least this gives you the option to have that levitating monitor look while having your setup in front of a window at the same time. You just gotta make sure that there are actual mounting points near the windows, otherwise it won't work. The desk itself has an industrial theme to it with a wooden countertop from IKEA and custom-made steel pipe legs for the support. On the desk, we got the Corsair K70 RGB keyboard with the custom white keycaps and the Razer Death Adder mouse. Drilling a hole right behind the mouse bungee is actually a really awesome way of hiding that cable instead of running it underneath the keyboard, or even worse, running it across the desk. Another thing I noticed are the bookshelf speakers in the back. They are both being blocked off, which is gonna affect the sound quality. I'm actually curious as to why you mounted them on the desk itself instead of picking up floor stands, which will allow you to lift the speakers even higher. I do recommend these from Pearl Smith, I think that's how you say it, which can be extended up to 45 inches high. So it's gonna give you that extra boost that you need, so it's not being blocked off. Alternatively, you can also mount them on the wall, although you might have to move that painting on the right side to make space for it. Aside from the speakers, he does have a wireless headset from SteelSeries that he also uses. This is actually very similar to the previous setup. Luke also routed his wires across the wall instead of straight down. It looks so clean because you can't really see the channel raceway that he used to route the wires through since the monitors are blocking it. It's a very clever trick to enhance the presentation of the setup. Nicely done, dude. The PC powering the setup has a 7700K, 8 gigs of RAM, and the Asus Strix 1070 with custom black sleeves. The setup itself is nice and organized, however I would change up the placement of the speakers if possible so that you can take full advantage of them. But otherwise, thank you Luke for entering. And number 3 is Moshae, I hope I'm not butchering that name, with dual setups, one strictly for console gaming and the other for PC gaming and editing. So the console setup has a dedicated desk and 2 gaming monitors for both the PS4 and the Xbox One, while the PC has an all-red Deadpool theme going on with a single ultrawide. There's definitely a lot of red, even for my taste, but he did try and balance that by adding black for contrast. Some great examples are the speaker stand, the Mophie wireless charging pad, the Lambo, and even the DAC. For peripherals, he's rocking the Logitech G910 keyboard, we got the G903 mouse, and the PowerPlay mousepad that doubles as a charging pad for the G903 and the G703 wireless mouse. So that's really cool. You don't have to plug in a mouse and charge it anymore. Just leave it on the mousepad and you're juiced up. Sandwiching the ultrawides are a pair of Monkey Banana speakers, and next to those are IKEA lamps with Philips RGB bulbs, which of course are set to red lighting. Aside from the speakers, he does have a Logitech G633 headset hanging underneath the desk, and while we're down here, let's take a look at the cable management. It looks like he's using the good old Signum rack to hold everything up, and a few Velcros to keep the wires from hanging down. Overall, a very clean job. Personally, I think covering the entire wall with acoustic foams is a bit overkill. If you're doing it mainly for acoustics, then it's fine, I guess, but if it's for aesthetic reasons, I would have preferred either wallpaper or even a paint job. If you must use acoustic foams, maybe you should have done like a cool design with them or something. But I don't know, what do you guys think? Leave your feedback in the comment section. I do like the 2 Deadpool posters and the painted wall shelf with collectibles. At least there's some personality in this setup. I mean, the shelf isn't exactly centered in the middle, but I'll give you a pass, what the hell. I feel like if Deadpool owned a gaming PC, this is what it would look like. A 6600K, 1080 Ti from Aorus, couple of Deadpool figurines, and of course, plenty of red lighting. You know, I haven't seen a setup that relies heavily on a theme like this in a while, but it's always refreshing to see. I think you did a great job over here keeping with the Deadpool theme. Thank you, Moshae, for entering, and I'm sorry if I butchered your name. This next setup is from Knauer. Again, I'm sorry if I'm butchering your name. Is very impressive because it's the first setup I've seen on the show to have great cable management using a glass desk. This is impressive because you can't really hide stuff underneath it since it's all see-through. But he found a way around this by grouping up all the wires together using a cable sleeve and compressing them together with zip ties. That's actually a very clever way of doing it. And if you guys have a glass desk at home, you should probably consider this method if you want a clean setup. The only other drawback from a glass desk is that you can't drill any holes for the keyboard and mouse, because either way, you're gonna see the wire going across the desk, either above it or underneath it. Also, you might end up cracking the surface around it. Alright, so this setup is used for gaming and programming. He's using a 4K monitor up top with 2 Quad HD gaming monitors on the bottom, and he's hooked up all of that to the Vivo desk mount. The benefits of having a corner desk is that you can have your main setup on one side and keep the rest of your gear, including the PC, on the other without having to pick up extra drawers or shelves. There's a PS4 console, docking station with controllers, and the headset off to the side. In the corner is where the custom water-cooled PC is. The Corsair 460X case has appeared twice already in this episode. Specs-wise, he's using a delidded 8700K that's overclocked to 5.1 GHz, very nice, and it's also equipped with 16 gigs of RAM and the EVGA 1080 Ti FTW3, a beautiful custom loop with hardline tubing. This is a very compact case because of the PSU shroud, so I'm impressed that you're able to fit an entire loop in here despite going with a single radiator. Splitting the pump and the res was actually a great idea. However, I do recommend picking up some custom sleeve cables at one point to complete this awesome build. It's very refreshing to see a badass setup on a glass desk, and I think you did an awesome job putting it all together and keeping it very, very clean. Thank you, Knauer, for entering. Wrapping up the episode is Ryan and his Final Fantasy obsessed setup. We got 2 separate setups actually, one for PC gaming and the other for console gaming. The PC side is rocking 3 Asus monitors that are actually hooked up to a monitor mount. You can't tell because he cleverly hid the base behind his Surface 3. On the desk, he's got the K95 Platinum keyboard, got the SteelSeries mouse, and the Corsair RGB mouse pad. One thing you can do with those wires is by drilling a small hole right above the mouse pad where you can route both mouse and mouse pad wired through if you ever want a cleaner look. Alternatively, you can rotate the mouse pad sideways so that the cable isn't as noticeable since it'll be closer to the keyboard. But those are some options of cleaning up the wires a bit. I do love the charging hub that you installed on the left side of your desk. It's a very convenient way of just plugging stuff in and juicing it up. However, there is another way of doing this without drilling holes in your desk, and it's by picking up this charging hub or something similar and hooking it up under the desk. Very similar to what you did with your router on the right side of your desk, but either way works. It all matters on what's more convenient for you. Speaking of convenience, the speakers mounted on the wall was a great idea considering you have no space on the desk for them. And speaking of no space, sadly the PC had to go on the ground. I would have personally put an Alex drawer where the chair is right now in this picture and put the PC on top of that because it looks too good to be on the floor. But maybe you're using that space in the corner for other things. I don't know, that's just what I would do. The cables are managed very well. He's using a channel raceway near the back and some wall raceways in the front to route the wires through. I guess that works too. The console gaming setup is pretty straightforward. He's got the 46-inch Sony TV and underneath that more consoles than any single person should own. PS4, we got the Vita, Xbox One, 360, and Nintendo Switch. But where the hell is the VR stuff? I think the only thing you're missing is maybe like an HTC Vive headset or even a PlayStation VR. I do like the overall theme of the room. He said he's going for an orange and black theme, and me being a huge Final Fantasy fan as well, I'm really digging it. It's not my preferred color choice, but I like how you decorated everything with the collectibles, the posters, and other miscellaneous stuff. There's definitely a lot of personality in this setup. Thank you, Ryan, for entering. So that's it for this episode of Setup Wars. As always, make sure you guys drop your comments down below and vote on who you think has the best desk setup out of the 5. And as always, I'll announce the winners on my IG account. Make sure you guys are following me there for some sneak peeks as well. Some pretty cool stuff's happening on the channel. I love your faces, and I will see you in the next one.